Hey everybody, Smiles here with Gamer Smiles. Thank you so much for tuning in today as we continue this climb up the singles ranked battles. I'm super excited to see if we can make it here today and hopefully get to Master Rank. We're actually pretty close at Ultra Ball. But before we begin, before we begin, we also have a shiny giveaway. Pretty much just I have boxes upon boxes of shinies that I can give away. And so I want you guys to enjoy them. I have no need for them. And so I want them to go to a great home. So if you'd like to participate, all you gotta do, chime in on the chat. We'll have a couple giveaways throughout the day. And it's going to be pretty easy to participate. I unfortunately don't have Nightbot, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d10, as you guys can see here. You guess the number 1 through 10, and depending on what I hit, then that is who gets the shiny. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with Pokemon battling. Everybody, we are back here at Gamer Smiles, and I am so excited today. We are back online playing some more Pokemon singles. We're at the Ultra Ball tier, so we're so close to Master Rank, and I'm confident that we can get to it today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Right now, you guys are listening to the Pokemon Stadium 2 soundtrack, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. And yeah, so without further ado, we'll go ahead and bring in the team. So this is pretty similar to the team that you guys saw last time. I originally switched out Galarian, Alolan Ninetales rather, for Volcarona, and then I decided, you know what, I actually don't need as many setup sweepers, so Gastrodon's helpful here. Gastrodon also helps deal with both Arctozolt, Dragozolt and Dragovish, being immune to those Fissure Surrenders, but at the same time, also being immune to the electric type moves that Dragozolt might throw out. So making it easier in the long run to deal with both of them. So I thought it would be kind of helpful and kind of fun to use Gastrodon in this bout. So we got him in here. Alrighty. So our first challenger is against Belek. I have no idea how to say that name. But true to his name, this trainer actually does have an electric type with Luxray. Definitely has that electric feel to it. We also have Arcanine and Haxorus of their own, a Charizard, Urshifu, and Blastoise. So a lot of physical hitters, and also special hitters as well. The Blastoise and Charizard are big ones that hit especially as well. I do like the idea of having Gastrodon to deal with Blastoise, and if the Urshifu is the Urshifu water, that can be helpful as well. I could utilize Clefable and her Stealth Rock ability. I think that might be helpful here, setting up Stealth Rock. I like the idea of Gastrodon, and I also like Corsola here. I think we're going to be a little bit slower in this uptick, but I think the slower pace of our gameplay is going to pay off in the long run. Also, too, because Haxorus, if it decides to use something like Dragon Dance, I will ignore the attack boost, and so we can use that to our advantage here. Alrighty, and our first battle of the day, let's get it going! Alright, so the opponent is going to go ahead and send out that Blastoise versus our Clefable here. So, curious to see if Blastoise is automatically going to set up the Cell Smash or not. If so, I kind of want to just hit it with this Moonblast. I think that might be... Alright, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and set up Stealth Rock. Because most likely, if Blastoise goes for the Cell Smash, yep, it is probably going to use the Max Cannonade at the end. And so that would be a great opportunity for Gastrodon to just switch in and get some boost here. So... Blastoise increasing its attack, special attack, and special defense. The White Herb does help restore its status, and I do get to set up this Stealth Rock here. Nice thing here, too, is that Blastoise actually doesn't... I actually don't see the attack boost. So I'll be taking these attacks pretty normally. So I am going to go ahead and lead into Gastrodon. Let's go ahead and bring him in. And if so, I mean, if I had to deal with a Max Hailstorm or something like that, not a big deal here. So I am going to go ahead and withdraw Clefable. And a nice thing to put in this Gastrodon here. This is going to be super helpful. We actually see the Hydro Pump coming out. I take that like a champ thanks to the Storm Drain. And that is going to help boost up my special attack here. I'm going to go ahead and just fire off this Earth Power. I don't think that Blastoise wants to switch out quite yet. But we are going to see the Dark Pulse come out. So good thing to note for future attacks that I might have to eat up. And I do get to fire off this Earth Power right here, doing a decent amount to this Blastoise. Lower that special defense, so that actually is going to help out in the long run. And I get a recover thanks to my leftovers here. So, kind of looking at this, I probably want to hit the recover button again. It is going to be a little bit harder to deal with Blastoise. So I am going to try to hit this recover. We are actually going to see the Focus Blast, so I am glad I did hit recover. Focus Blast comes in pretty strongly, and that's enough to knock out my Gastrodon, unfortunately. Nice thing here, though, is that because Blastoise did reveal that it had Focus Blast and Dark Pulse, I actually know its entire moveset. The strongest move it does have is this Cannonade, and lowering its special defense is going to be helpful. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Moonblast here, and that will make it easier to deal with Blastoise in the long run. I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to see Blastoise Dynamax in here. We are going to get this Hydro Pump. I should take it decently well. And in fact, I give the red card. Oh, shoot. I got the red card. I got the red card right here. We hold that up against Blastoise. And Urshifu comes out. Perfect timing, because I fired off this really strong Moonblast, knocking out Urshifu and getting it out of the way. What a great knockout right here. And let's go. Knocking out this Urshifu is going to be huge. I am so excited for that, and that is going to be great. That will make it easier to deal with the opponent in the long run. And we actually get Luxray coming out. So, really, it is Blastoise and Luxray versus Clefable and Corsola, and I feel pretty confident in this. I'm going to go ahead and set up my own Wish here. I might need to get some healing up. And curious to see if we are going to see the Dynamax. We actually are. Luxray does come up with this Dynamax here. Kind of bummed, though, because if I did have... not Corsola, but if I had a Gastrodon, that would have been a lot easier to deal with Luxray in the long run. But knocking out that Urshifu was definitely clutch here. Alright, it does seem like the Dynamax mechanic is a little bit loud. We're going to have to bring that down just a tad. We do get the Max Lightning. I, unfortunately, am knocked out thanks to that Max Lightning. But because Luxray is usually physically based, I will use that to my advantage, utilizing things like Will-O-Wisp, Strength Sap, things like that. Luxray actually reveals that it is burned, so Luxray having the Guts ability actually is a problematic here, so I won't be able to burn it myself, but I will have to do things like the Strength Sap here, just to kind of make sure I can survive it. Another problem here is that because of the Max Darkness coming out, oh, actually we only get Max Lightnings, okay. Ooh, that was a lot of damage, but luckily with the Strength Sap, I'm just going to get all that healing. Very important here to help lower Luxray's attack, and I will be able to stave off that attack, be able to survive these Dynamax turns here. Luxray does take damage from that burn, so hopefully we can take advantage of those slow burns. Nice to see that Luxray is using Max Lightning. That will help out in the long run here. Luxray goes for one more Max Lightning. Corsola will take that decently well now. And I'm going to go ahead and get off one more Strength Sap, bringing Luxray down to -2 in its attack, making it easier and more manageable in the long run. We get all of our healing back. Luxray unable to really capitalize on that, and it is going to go ahead and become much smaller there. Luckily, luckily we were able to take advantage here. I'm going to go ahead and use Nightshade. I think that what I want to do is the turn before Luxray is knocked out, then set up Light Screen. So Luxray actually switches out, and we are going to get Blastoise coming back in. Blastoise comes in. It does take damage thanks to the Stealth Rock, which is very helpful, and I do get off this Nightshade here. So decent amount of damage. I feel like in this right now, I would like to go ahead and just hit off this Nightshade. We are going to get this Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse does hit for a pretty incredible amount of damage. I take that comfortably well. I Curse Body it, which is super helpful, and I get to fire off a Nightshade. So, luckily I didn't flinch, which would have been very scary indeed. But we are able to knock out Blastoise, and that is awesome to see. The electric terrain is gone from the field. That also helps make things a lot easier for Corsola in the long run. Luxray is going to come back out, and it is going to take damage thanks to the Stealth Rock. So, very grateful to see Luxray come back out now. That Stealth Rock damage is going to be helpful, and the burn in the long run, too. Now, Luxray might have been a little bit more powerful now, thanks to the Flame Orb and resetting its attacks, but luckily I can survive these hits and get that healing, you know what I'm saying? Luxray is going to go for a Wild Charge. Wild Charge does a lot of damage here, but luckily, because Luxray's main form of attack is a recoil move, that's going to help wear down Luxray in the long run, too. Luxray lowers its attack, and I get all of my HP back, just becoming that insurmountable wall that Luxray cannot power through. I think one more Strength Sap is in order just to be pretty comfortable here. But yeah, the opponent is going to be put in a tough bind here. The opponent decides to forfeit, and there we go. The red card was so beneficial from Clefable to fire that off. And Corsola just standing her ground and making it easier to deal with in the long Blastoise in the long run was helpful too. So great job on my opponent, and we were able to make it work. Play Rough and Psychic Fangs are both really great moves here. Yeah, the Haxorus is very similar to my Haxorus, but instead of Earthquake, mine goes for Max Knuckle. Earthquake is an interesting attack. I like that idea. The Dynamaxed Max Quakes actually would be pretty strong. And also that helps with the Dynamax Max Quakes also help with boosting your special defense there. So cool idea from the Haxorus. Interesting to use Focus Sash rather than Lumberry. We do have Charizard Weakness Policy, setting up its own. Actually, it doesn't really get to benefit from Solar Power, just because it can't naturally set up its own Sun with these moves. We have Luxray with the Flame Orb, Guts Luxray, as expected. It has Facade actually really strong here. Wild Charge, Play Rough, and Superpower. Very lucky that we didn't actually have a Dark-type move. That was what I was worried about, like a Crunch. That would have been a different story there. But, luckily, once Blastoise is out of the way, that was easy to deal with. Urshifu actually wasn't Focus Sash. It was on that Haxorus, but I was very lucky. The red card brings in the Urshifu, and I immediately get to ram into it with a Moonblast. So that was so helpful, not having to deal with Urshifu, especially because of the wicked blows coming at me. So I am lucky. Technically, this Urshifu is hacked, but it doesn't matter. We are able to knock it out and deal with it. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and continue battling. And that's awesome. So we got our first victory of the day with our first battle. So, woo! Wasn't necessarily a Wage Quit, so we will hold off on the Gastrodon, deal with its saltiness. But we'll bring it back up eventually. Alrighty, let's see who our next opponent is. I am really excited. We've been doing pretty well. Oh man, we're so close to that Master Rank. Can we get it? I want to get this Master Rank. It'll be nice to also have it in singles. A format I usually don't play, but it has been fun to play it. Alright, so the opponent comes in with Mamoswine, Dragovish. We have the Hydreigon. We have Aegislash, Charizard, and Toxapex. So this team actually lends itself really well for using Gastrodon. And so I am going to keep Gastrodon in the back. I guess my next question here is, do I feel more confident using Eskew or Haxorus? Or do I need to slow down the game a little bit more? Should I use my own Dragovish? A lot of different questions here. Kind of looking at this, I like the idea of using my Eskew to kind of run rampant. If I can come in on a Dragovish or a Mamoswine attacking me, I think that will be helpful. It might be a little bit harder to get those pieces ready to go. Clefable does set up Stealth Rock, which does help make the game easier for me to deal with. And also, too, if Hydreigon switches right, it doesn't plan on hitting me and switches right in, that actually could work in my favor, too. So, I feel like I am going to go with Clefable, Eskew, and Gastrodon. Gastrodon might also learn Stealth Rock, so that could also be a tech option I could use, getting a later Stealth Rock in the game. Stealth Rock isn't actually necessary, but it does help deal with, Focus Sashes and things like that, and wearing my opponent down in the long run. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get this battle started. We have Ryuga challenge me, and I wonder what Ryuga is going to throw at us. Alright, so we have the Toxapex leading off versus Clefable, so a very interesting dynamic here. Toxapex most likely is going to try to set something up. I'm going to go ahead and just fire off this Stealth Rock. If Toxapex decides to use Baneful Bunker, I'm not going to run in there. So I do set up the Stealth Rock here, so Toxapex not using the Baneful Bunker. And we are going to get the Toxic actually fire off into my Clefable slot. So kind of a slower burn from my own Clefable, which will be a little bit of a challenge to work through. But I think in this case, we do know that Toxapex is slower. So that might be a little bit of a challenge. Feel like in this case, I do want to set up a... Yeah, I'll go ahead and fire off a Moonblast. This Moonblast isn't going to be doing too much here. But I am curious to see what else Toxapex sets up. Maybe it is going to do something like Stockpile or try to up its defenses. We do lower its special attack to help with any Venosocks. We actually get the Scald off. So Scald not doing too much here. The one thing I am worried about is switching in my Gastrodon immediately. So we're going to go ahead and fire off that red card. Get out of here, Toxapex. And we do get the Aegislash coming in. So, not ideal. A lot of the opponent's team seems to be well prepared against Clefable. But I think Gastrodon can help deal with things in the long run. And actually, this might be helpful. I can see what Aegislash's next move is going to be. Is it going to be something like a Flash Cannon? So I can know it's specially based or physically based. Luckily, too, this also means that his team is relatively slow. So SQ can come in and set up something like, hey, I can do the Belly Drum turn 1 and be able to survive that. So we are going to see the stance change. Ooh, and here comes Aegislash going in with the Shadow Ball. So no focus, no Flash Cannon here. That Shadow Ball is going to do a lot of damage. And we are pretty low on our HP with only 2 HP left for that. So I am going to go ahead and fire off this Moonblast here. Most likely Aegislash wants to knock me out. So if I can do a lot of damage here, that will be very helpful in the long run. It probably won't do... I will be able to survive one with a Wish, though. So Aegislash has to make a decision. Do I want to knock out this Clefable now, or am I going to let it stand around? Because it could go to Keen Shield, in which case I kind of put it in a bind of like, well, I get my Wish off. Aegislash actually uses Shadow Sneak, so great call out there. Being able to take that hit and being able to knock me out to prevent the Wish. So nice to see that tech option, and I am glad I scouted it out. Alright, we're going to go ahead and bring in SQ, the once well-trained. Our angry penguin boy is ready to play, and hopefully we can make things work. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Belly Drum right here, and hopefully get some big damage coming out soon. But we do know that Aegislash is relatively slower, and so Aegislash has to make a decision. Do I go for the Keen Shield now, or do I wait until later in the game? Or do I switch out? Switching out also helps us out. So Keen Shield is going to be seen here, which is perfect. I am okay with that. And I do set up this +6 Belly Drum. We're beating the belly, we're going at it, and our penguin boy is ready to play here. SQ cuts out its HP, maximizes attack, and I do get to enjoy that Citrus Berry, which will make it a little bit easier to tank some of these hits. We are gonna, let's see if the opponent has anything I need to be mindful of. Nope. Nothing that wouldn't, yeah, everything will take a Max Geyser, pretty strongly. So I'm not too worried about this. I think the main thing here is, can I knock out this Aegislash with 1 Max Geyser? And I'm hopeful I can. We aren't going to see any switches. And the penguin is angry and ready to go. So hopefully we can make this, we can maximize these turns as best as we can. We do get the Max Geyser off. Is this going to be enough to knock out? It is, and we 1-hit KO that Aegislash. Let's go. This is the momentum I'm looking for. And with the range setup, this is going to be perfect to dealing with a lot of the opponent's threats here. We could expect to see Toxapex come back out, but in that case, I feel like I'm very comfortable with a +6 max strike here. We do see yeah, this is 120, so it's basically firing off like a hyper, well, it's a little bit weaker than a hyper beam. But we are going to get this max strike. This max strike is going to do considerable amount of damage. Let's go. Is that enough to knock out? And we get the knockout on Toxapex. Let's go. That Belly Drum was perfect. The opponent was a little bit too passive here. We were able to capitalize on that. Let's see who the last Pokemon is. And it is going to be The Mamoswine. Ooh, unfortunate there because Mamoswine is not going to like ramming into my SQ. It most likely will have to Dynamax here and Max Guard. But with that, my liquidations are coming in strong, and that's going to be that's going to be painful. Luckily, with Ice Face 2, I get to survive at least one physical attack from the Mamoswine, making it easier dealing with it in the long run. I'll go ahead and lower the gameplay speaker. There we go. That's perfect. Alrighty. That way y'all can still hear the Pog, but it doesn't duplicate. We are going to see the Max Knuckle. Totally fine in this case. Actually, I'll bump that up a little bit on my end. And that Max Knuckle will boost up the, Oh, the Ice Face is broken. But now my speed is, like, in a very high range. +6 Max Geyser, that is going to be enough to break this, Mamoswine, and unfortunately, because of the Ice Face, those physical hits mean nothing. And we knock out that Mamoswine handedly. There we go. Great knockout there. And that's all she wrote in that battle. SQ, the Angry Penguin Pokemon, making its mark once again. By the way, folks, I also have extra SQs that I just bred and got up to, you know, EV trained and everything. So if you wish to have one of your own, you're more than welcome to. Mamoswine having that Assault Vest, a great item. Unfortunately, it just didn't help in this battle. The Max Knuckle was a great call out, but again, because I was had that Ice Face, I did not care. And really just utilizing Aegislash's more passivity to kind of capitalize on setting up the belly drum. We did actually see the Strong Jaw. It is Choice Scarf as expected. I am curious. Oh, the trainer didn't actually adjust its stats. That's unfortunate here. But I am curious to see why Brutal Swing. It seems like this, and Excessive Protect, seems like this was just thrown on the team, but not really thought of as using it. But yeah, Protect is weird. I think it works well in, like, I could see this working well in doubles. The idea of, like, you bluff the Choice Scarf, and then use Brutal Swing to activate a weakness policy on your Pokemon. The Hydreigon would have been great too, but unfortunately, yeah, no Dynamax Candy, that hurts a lot. We had the Charizard as well. Charizard was holding the Life Orb, so a lot of damage there. It looks like it was, that's actually impossible. This Charizard can't exist. Because in the Kalos region, you can't actually catch a Pokemon with a Level Ball, because that Pokeball was not available in Gen 6. So this Charizard is actually hacked. Whoever gave it to him did not do their research properly. Also, not from Kalos, so any Pokeball is fine. Yeah, Close Combat, Shadow Ball, Shadow Sneak. So that was good to see, and that was actually very helpful in dealing with Aegislash. And then we finally had Toxapex, which was just wrecked by all the attacks. Yeah, if Toxapex was able to survive at least one, the Haze would have been enough to really put me in a bind, but the opponent didn't really have a way to do that. So, great battle overall. I think that there's room for their team as a whole to have had better opportunity there. Oh, we're one battle away, folks. That battle gave us a lot of points, so we're one battle away from getting this Master Rank. Can we do it? I'm super excited. You're listening to the Pokemon Stadium 2 soundtrack. I don't know if I said that earlier, but oh my goodness, we are so close to get Master Rank here. I'm pumped. I'm excited. By the way, I'm also giving away Shinies. Like I said before, if you would like a shiny Pokemon, all you gotta do is guess the number 1 through 10. I'm gonna roll this D10 die. I'll let you know what it lands on, and if you guess the number right, you get a shiny. I mean, that's a 1 in 10 chance to get a shiny, so it's not a bad thing. Not bad odds at all. So, Mahoney is gonna be challenging us. Oh, and interesting, we have the Tauros, the Corviknight, the Gengar, the Alakazam, the Dragovish, and the Arcanine. So looking at this, we do have some physical Pokemon, especially with the Tauros, the Dragovish, and the Corviknight. I think the one thing I want to be mindful of, Arcanine can also be physical, depending. I think the one thing I want to be mindful of is dealing with the Alakazam pretty early on. And so, it might be a little bit harder to figure that one out. Dragovish could work well. Gastronaut also works well. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm actually... yeah, I'm not going to worry about Stealth Rock. I know it's a really odd choice, but I'm just going to go hit hard and hit fast. Using my own Dragovish to go ahead and hit these Fishious Wrens. and then afterwards using Gastrodon and SQ to kind of slow down the game and make it work here. So let's see what happens. The Corviknight does prove to be a threat for sure. Burning it will be helpful, but yeah, we'll just have to see. So the opponent is going to actually start off with Alakazam. Alakazam usually is the Pokemon that does hold the Focus Sash here, versus Dragovish. I feel confident just hitting this Fishious Rend button. There's not really a reason why not to, and I think afterwards that will be helpful in the long run. So we get to fire off this Fishious Rend. That is enough to bring down to the Focus Sash, and luckily because we see that Alakazam is the one to hold the Focus Sash, we might not survive this, but we have, oh, well, actually we do survive it, which is very nice. But now we don't have to worry about Alakazam, the Focus Sash user, right? We know that was Alakazam. We've knocked it out. SQ is ready to go, set things up, and just go to town against my opponent here. Let's see what the next Pokemon is. It could be this Corviknight. We do see the Corviknight coming out, ready to play. So Corviknight does add a lot of defensive pressure here. So I do want to get off these Fishious Rends as fast as possible, really preventing Corviknight from doing too much here. Corviknight is going to be the one to Dynamax, which always is unfortunate. That just means that Corviknight does get a little bit of a boost with its attacks here. The Max Airstream's coming out, or it is going to be a little bit problematic. Actually, we don't see the Max Airstream. Corviknight is G-Max. So that actually helps us out a lot. With Corviknight being G-Max, that means that we're going to see a Max Steel Spike, making it easier to deal with it in the long run. We do get this Fishious Rend. It's going to do a decent amount here, but not enough to knock out. And we get the Wind Rage, which is perfect. Wind Rage does not give Corviknight any benefit. And so that means that I get to survive one Wind Rage and set up SQ and go to town. That's exactly the type of turn I wanted. And here we go. Going into this, will we get Master Ink with this? I'm feeling pretty confident. I don't think the opponent really has a way to address this. So I do set up this Belly Drum here. Belly Drum is very helpful. I get to survive at least one physical attack thanks to my Ice Base, boosting my attack all the way to +6, and I eat that Citrus Berry. Corviknight is going to go for a Max Steel Spike, helping its defense survive, get a +1, but at this point, the Max Steel Spike isn't going to be beneficial. Corviknight does get its defense boost, but my Ice Base breaks. I get to survive that physical hit once, and I get to Dynamax next turn. I greatly outspeed this Corviknight, and I guess the question is, do I feel confident that the next Pokemon isn't going to be a, You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I only need 2 turns to make this work. So I am going to go ahead and Dynamax now, and then I'm going to use Max Guard. The reason I am a little bit concerned is that Corviknight can easily do something like, because, like, the opponent could have Gengar still. And Gengar would naturally outspeed SQ with the face on, the Ice Face on. And I don't want Gengar to get a free knockout here. So I am going to go ahead and use this Max Guard just to protect myself. Give me a little bit of breathing room here. And we do get the Max Steel Spike. I take that like a champ because I'm protecting myself. And Corviknight is done with that Dynamax. And now we get to make it easier to knock out this Corviknight. Now I feel very confident that the Max Geyser should have enough power to knock out this Corviknight, and that's exactly what I was looking for here. We're going to fire off this Max Geyser just in case I will not be able to outspeed without the, with the Max Face on, then final Pokemon. The rain is set up, making my Max Geysers even stronger, and Corviknight is knocked out. And like we said before, we did realize that Alakazam was the one with the Focus Sash, so that was super helpful to note. We don't have to worry about it. Yes, I am glad that I predicted this. The Gengar would have actually outsped with the Ice Face, and that would have been a harder battle here. So we are going to fire off this final Max Geyser, and again, Gengar cannot survive because it doesn't have a Focus Sash. Here we go, ramming right into Gengar, and that is enough to knock out, guaranteeing those knockouts, and we did it. We played it safe, and we made it work. Shout out to SQ winning that battle, and we're able to defeat Mahoney. Will that be enough for the Master Rank? I feel like it will. Hey, we got Zinc. Yay. Yeah, I'm curious. So, Assault Vest Arcanine, a pretty solid choice there. We have the Dragovish with the, Choice Scarf here. Dragovish actually doesn't have the Dynamax Candy. I don't know why. It's always helpful to have that just in case. We do have Alakazam with Focus Sash, a special attack. And so, yeah, the Dazzling Gleam expected. I was able to survive that, luckily. Gengar was Life Orbed with Curse Body. Not Dynamax, but it had Dazzling Gleam as well as Shadow Ball, Sludge Wave, and Thunderbolt. Gastrodon probably at the end game would have been okay taking on Gengar for sure. But it was nice that I didn't have to deal with it. We do have the Muscle Band Tauros with Intimidate, actually, which is interesting. This Tauros seems to be more equipped to... Surf doesn't really help it. So this Tauros seems more equipped for doubles, which I think that's why it wanted to do that. So it could Surf and activate a weakness policy. But does your team have a weakness policy on it? Yeah, it's your Corviknight that did. Interesting. And you didn't give it fully Dynamax Candy either. Yeah, there's things you could have done better to make it stronger. Yeah, being able to survive the one Iron Head was perfect. And because you're Dynamax, the Great Bird, the Gigantamax didn't add any benefit. If you went for like Body Press or something, that might have given you a better option. Max Knuckle would have been enough to knock out Dragovish. And I think you would have been in a better spot there. But Dragovish just punched in a lot of great holes here. And it was easy to deal with you in the long run. So, awesome. Glad to see that. And glad that Alakazam was a Focus Sash user and we got rid of it so early. Didn't even need Stealth Rock there. Let's go ahead and stop for now. Gastrodon actually didn't do anything. And let's see. Fingers crossed. We did it! Yes! Woo! We hit the master rank, guys. I am so excited. With that, if you are in the chat right now, guaranteed no contest needed, nothing like that. Go ahead and just leave a comment or like anything, and you get a shiny to celebrate this momentous occasion. We have done it in singles. I'm going to go ahead and share that on Twitter later today. And we have hit master rank. I'm so excited, both in singles and doubles. Played a lot more singles to get there for sure. Doubles had to only take 24 battles to get there. Singles was 42. But it was awesome. We did it. We figured it out. We made it work. I'm usually not a singles player myself, so it was nice to be able to get to this rating. So I'm so excited, so pumped. And thank you for everyone who's tuned in, not just in this episode, but every other episode before. It's been awesome to get through this journey together. Alrighty, well, we could do more singles, we could do more doubles, I don't know. What do y'all think? I kind of feel like going for another singles. Yeah, because that way I can get the master rank ribbon on every Pokemon on my team. I think they would appreciate it. Okay, well, I dropped exactly 1 point since we get there, but we got the singles rank. I am so excited. You don't know how much that means to me. I am so pumped. I am thrilled, and I'm glad that we were able to do it. That means that after the season ends at the end of October, man, we're going to get so many awards, which is awesome. Alright, so we have a pretty interesting team here with Azumarill, Amoonguss, Diggersby, Snorlax, Gengar, and Arctozolt. So this team actually seems very physically based, which I like to see. I think besides Amoonguss, the rest are pretty physical in that nature. So I think with that, I feel confident in going with Clefable. I do like SQ again, and I think I'll lead with have Gastrodon as well. Gastrodon at the end game can deal with Azumarill well. It can deal with Diggersby decently well. Dragozolt definitely. And Snorlax as well, and Gengar. Yeah, and Gengar too. I think the one Pokemon it doesn't like to see is Amoonguss. But if I do set up the Belly Drum SQ early on, I think we're going to be in a great spot here. Also, too, I probably don't need to outspeed much of the team. I just need to be able to I basically need to survive the Dragozolt and then knock it out. So, preserving my Ice Space will actually be the priority here. Being able to have the Hail, kind of protect that, taking on that one physical hit and then ramming back in. Azumarill also probably won't outspeed me, which will be nice, too. So, it is going to be interesting to see what the opponent is going to try. I could see that they thinking about Corsola being a threat. Corsola actually would have been a great Pokemon too. I think Corsola would help out, especially with Azumarill. Dragozolt, depending on the hit, can kind of power through Corsola. But we'll see. Alrighty, so let's go into this battle. Let's see what is up against this opponent. I'm very curious to see what they're going to be using in this battle here. Alright, so the trainer is going to go ahead and send out the Gengar. So, not too bad on my end. I will have to be taking a pretty strong attack. But that does make it easier for SQ in the long run to deal with it. So, Gengar probably is going to hit with a Sludge Wave. I don't think Gengar wants to Dynamax immediately. I wouldn't want it to, actually. Oh no, and it does! That's not great. Because Gengar Dynamaxing means that, okay, so it is the, Gigantamax Gengar. Ooh, and it is angry. Look at that big mouth. It is Happy Halloween, folks. The problem with Gengar Dynamaxing is that, I won't be able to utilize the Wet card. We are going to get the Max Ooze firing off from the Gengar. I will ignore it. Oh, that is enough to knock out anyway, so Gengar getting that early momentum here. Wow, that was incredible power, and Clefable is knocked out. Ooh, this is not pretty. It does reveal the Life Orb, so that's good to see. I could utilize Gastrodon and try to go fire off some Max Quakes. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit tougher. Yeah, I think I might do that and have SQ not Dynamax, but just hit hard. I think that would be helpful in the long run. I don't necessarily need SQ to use its Dynamax. Being able to survive Gengar's attacks are going to be much more important here. The opponent is thinking as well. This does kind of put a bind into their strategy. I don't remember if they had a flying type Pokemon. Okay, so they decide not to switch out, so I get to fire off this Gastrodon going into this Max Quake. But here's the tricky thing. Do I survive one attack from Gengar and then fire off this Max Quake, and will I be able to make it work? Gastrodon, the big Sea Slug Pokemon, going at it. Gengar is going to fire off this Max Overgrowth. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that coverage. That was going to hurt, especially with that +1 in special attack. And that is enough for this knockout here. Unfortunately, oh man, this opponent is ramming through me. Yeah, that was... I was really surprised. Oof. And that's the tricky thing about Gengar. It has great coverage moves. And the Energy Ball was a great tech for Gengar. The Grassy Terrain actually is beneficial for Gengar, being able to heal off some of that damage. And unfortunately, SQ is going to have a hard time because the only way I can really threaten it is if I won't be able to outspeed it, so I have to hit it. I'm going to just fire off this Icicle Crash. I burned up my Dynamax, so yeah, this is going to be incredibly tough. Gengar can just go for a G-Max Terror, and that's enough to knock me out. Gengar also is specially based. So yeah, we are going to see that G-Max Terror, that +1 special attack, and I unfortunately am unable to survive with SQ. Gengar's Dynamax, easy enough to knock me out. So well played from the opponent. That Gengar was very scary to deal with, and I unfortunately am out of there. Gengar has been an incredible force since Gen 1, so I wasn't really too surprised that it was able to knock me out. I was actually shocked that Gengar Max Ooze was enough to knock out Clefable, so that kind of hurt. But hey, it happens. We might have taken a loss in the Master Rank, but no biggie. Let's see what we can do and maybe get another victory here. But dang, that Gengar, what a surprise. That was a tough one. I think if I played that differently, yeah, Corsola wouldn't have played well. Yeah, I probably would have led with Dragovish. Dragovish could have slammed Gengar. But then again, we might not have been that lucky. Alright, so we see the opponent here and has a lot of physical Pokemon again. I really do like SQ a lot. As you guys you can tell I like SQ, right? And I feel like Clefable, SQ, and Gastrodon can help out here. Main thing here is that I think that what SQ and Gastrodon do is cover each other. Like, Gastrodon deals with Primarina and Gengar really well unless they have Energy Ball, and SQ deals with the physical hitters well, being able to take at least one hit and then slamming hard afterwards. Corsola does actually attract Gengar to this fight, which will be interesting, so hopefully I can use that to my advantage. Because Gengar might say, hey, I can deal with Corsola and I can deal with Clefable. I am going to try to come in here. But we'll have to see. It is actually, I like this team a lot because I am happy I get to use both Clefable, I get to use, not both, but I get to use all three, Clefable, Gastrodon, and Corsola. Technically, this Gastrodon isn't my favorite form. I like the Western Sea one more because that's the one I used in Diamond and Pearl. But to help differentiate in my mind which one is singles and which one is doubles, I decided the Eastern Sea will be singles. so making it easier for me to keep track of that. But anyways, opponent has decided their team, and we're going to go into this battle now. Let's see what happens. I am very stoked to see how we're going to face off against my opponent here. Trying to think, what would the opponent, if I was the opponent, what would I do to kind of deal with kind of the threats I have currently? The opponent is going to go ahead and send out their Gengar, so expected. Alright, I hope this isn't a repeat of last time. This Gengar probably is going to Dynamax here, so I am going to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rock. Nope, we are only going to see a substitute. That kind of helps. And as I get up the Stealth Rock here, I think what I want to do here now is go ahead and have Gengar. Okay, Gengar is actually interesting. We do see the Black Sludge coming out from Gengar. Gengar kind of being more bulkier on this side, using its fast speed to deal with a lot of threats. So Gengar is going to fire off the Sludge Bomb. Now we're going to see, does the red card work? Okay, if the substitute blocks it, we're in trouble. Activate the red card. We get a switch out. This is perfect. The red card works, and we get the Snorlax coming in, taking that damage from the Stealth Rock, and Clefable is going to fire off this Moonblast here. So, great opportunity. We are looking in a nice place here. Snorlax is, because it is slower than SQ. Snorlax does reveal the leftovers, so most likely not going to be belly drumming here. But I am actually very excited to see this, because Snorlax probably is going to either knock me out or do something else. So we're going to go ahead and set up this switch. Snorlax is staying in. And Snorlax goes for the Heavy Slam. Perfect opportunity for me to set up belly drum in the long run. I am knocked out here, so unfortunate, but I think I do set myself up for success in the long run. Snorlax, recovering with those leftovers, is going to get a little bit of his health back. But now the trainer has to make a choice. Do I send in Gengar? Because I think the best option is send in Gengar, get another substitute out. But here comes SQ. If Snorlax stays in, then Snorlax is in big trouble here. And I think I might win this one right on this turn. Snorlax decides to stay in, unfortunately, because all it's going to do is ram into my Ice Face, and I will get this knockout here. Alright, the next turn I'll get a knockout. So I will be able to set up the, get my Citrus Berry. And Snorlax goes for Yawn, actually. Ooh, interesting. Very smart play here from the opponent. I like this call a lot. The opponent did not play around, and utilizing some of those defensive maneuvers to handle that. So, well played from my opponent. I thought that was awesome. I am going to go ahead and preserve my Dynamax here. I'm going to just go ahead and fire off an Icicle Crash. Let's see how much damage this will do. Hopefully we are able to knock out this Snorlax. It will be harder to deal with Gengar in the long run. Ooh, I'm not able to knock out Snorlax. Snorlax does flinch, making it a little bit easier to deal with it. But yeah, the tricky part here is that if I miss my next attacks, SQ is going to have problems surviving in the long run. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Liquidation. I think that this Liquidation will do a lot of damage. If Snorlax decides to switch out, then we might get lucky here. Snorlax does switch out. Can we wake up? If we can wake up in time, we can make this work. It is that Gengar back again. Gengar does take damage thanks to that Stealth Rock. I am still fast asleep. Ooh, man, this is a little bit tricky. Gengar gets an opportunity to set up Substitute, and so setting up that Substitute is going to be problematic in the long run here. Gengar actually is going to go for Dynamax, going to try to knock me out in one turn. So this is actually kind of problematic here. And Gengar, being specially based, is going to go through my Ice Face. I don't get to that protection there, unfortunately. It just goes to show that Gengar is a huge threat that I need to account for. Gengar goes for that Max Ooze. That Max Ooze is going to hurt. But will I survive? I do survive. So if I can get off one Liquidation, that might be enough. Gengar is going to go ahead and lower up its special attack. And unfortunately, I'm still asleep. Oh no, that is going to hurt in the long run. Gengar gets that recovery thanks to that Black Ooze, but, Black Sludge. But, oh man, and now I'm put in the bind here. Because switching out SQ doesn't make sense. Because then, yeah. So like in this case, I am going to go for one more Liquidation. Gengar is going to knock me out here, but yeah, unfortunately, because I did not wake up that turn, that might be game, set, and match. And that Snorlax with that Yawn Tech was such a great play. I think that if I had Haxorus instead, that would have been an awesome opportunity to set up 2 Dragon Dances for sure. But unfortunately, that's sometimes harder to see for sure. So it was awesome to see that the opponent did play that. I am going to go ahead and use this Max Guard. I have no idea if this Gengar is going to go with his Max Overgrowth or not. At this +2, I will be taking a lot of damage from this Gengar. And so it might be that I'm just going to be put in a bind where I'm not going to win here. So here we are. Gastrodon does Dynamax, but it might be a little bit too late. Gengar has really dominated the field here. I do set up this Max Guard. I just want to see what this Gengar can do. And we do see the G-Max Terra. So that could still be a knockout here. Definitely. I'm just not sure what Gengar is going to try to do. I think now Gengar might be free to set up some substitutes. But really, I'm kind of put on the back burner here. I won't be able to exert the pressure that I want to exert. And we do see the substitute, absolutely. Gengar calling that out right. Setting up these substitutes here. The Max Quakes will help kind of boost up my special defense to match Gengar's special attack boost, which I hope will help deal with the rest of the team in the long run. But yeah, this is a tough battle for sure. It's not over yet, though. We can make this work. It's just going to be a lot harder to deal with. Gastrodon is going to go ahead and raise that special defense. Gengar does get that Black Sludge boost back up. And I'm going to go ahead and fire off one more Max Quake. It is interesting. So Gengar actually withdraws, decides to retreat. And the opponent is going to go ahead and send out their Primarina. Ooh, that Primarina does prove problematic. Just because Primarina can attack thanks to that Energy Ball. So let's see how much damage we can do on Primarina. And can we survive an Energy Ball coming out? Gastrodon does boost up his special defense. But here comes the big question to ask. Can I survive an Energy Ball? Now, I don't have Protect, unfortunately. And the only attack that really works is this Earth Power. And Primarina doesn't really have any chip damage, so it's going to be harder to make any offensive pressure. Parasan is activated. Oh my goodness, this opponent is not playing around. And great call out. I love Parasan. So I appreciated seeing that for sure. This opponent definitely had all of their eggs in the right basket, making it harder for me to work against them. But yeah, this was a great... yeah, I won't be able to win. Primarina is just going to be staying with Parasan because it's pretty much game, set, and match. Gengar can just set up substitute. And Snorlax can survive all my attacks. So yeah, I won't be able to knock him out in 2 turns. The opponent does send out Gengar. Gengar does take damage thanks to that Stealth Rock, but if you fire off one substitute, I think it's game, set, and match. But let's see, maybe you don't. Alright, so you do. So making it easy on yourself, that's a great call. And great job from the opponent. I really like this a lot. The opponent really thought through about like how to kind of make the game passive and not as fast-paced. And that was something I wasn't really prepared against. And so, yeah, really handled that well. Love the Parasan on the Primarina. Primarina also is known to, yeah, so I really don't think I can do any, it's a checkmate here. I can't beat 2 Pokemon in 1 turn. So, great job from the opponent. I think they did an amazing job. Love that Parasan strategy, and making it really work for them. Gengar really opening up holes and also being defensive when it needs to, thanks to that substitute and that Black Sludge. Oh man, I wish they showed me that team, because I want to build that Gengar now. I think that was really cool. Probably had Shadow Ball, probably had, oh yeah, had G-Max here, so probably had Shadow Ball, probably had Sludge Bomb. I don't know what the other move was, but yeah, Substitute was an amazing tech. I love that. Alright, so we do have one fight. We'll probably do this fight, and then I might switch over to doing some shiny hunting. Very interesting team here of Azumarill, Aegislash, Ferrothorn, Mandibuzz. I haven't actually seen Mandibuzz on the ladder yet. Porygon Z, and Urshifu. So all of these Pokemon coming in with incredible power. I'm thinking about Eskew. Do I feel confident? I don't feel as confident with Gastrodon for sure. I think that the Ferrothorn makes that harder to deal with. I kind of like just punching holes. Yeah, I feel like having Clefable, Corsola, and Dragovish might be helpful in the long run. Corsola can deal with Ferrothorn, and then I can probably pry on the rest of the team and kind of work that way. So here we are, the opponent, myself versus the opponent here, and hopefully we can get some momentum going. If I predict the opponent is going to ram into me without Dynamax on turn 1, I can use that to my advantage and maybe hit them. So we actually see the Ferrothorn come out versus Clefable, so not too bad here. I think this is a great call. Ferrothorn might either set up with Leech Seed, or it might start to attack. And if Ferrothorn decides to attack here, it will attack last, therefore I will be able to set up the Stealth Rock and things will start taking damage from it. Here comes Clefable with that Stealth Rock. Actually, Parasol might be helpful to deal with Ferrothorn in the long run. I luckily avoid the Leech Seed, so I think at this case, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set up the Calm Mind here. It's a little bit tougher. Clefable doesn't have a Fire-type move to be able to hit Aegislash with... Oh, I'm so sorry. Ferrothorn with. But we are going to see the Leech Seed finally gets off the second time. I am Magic Guard, I am unaware, not Magic Guard, so Ferrothorn does get that recovery thanks to that, the Leech Seed. Trying to think if I would have liked another, Pokemon instead. So, Clefable is going to go ahead and set up one more Calm Mind at +2 special defense and +2 special attack. That her Moonblasts are going to hurt. And so I am hopeful that this is going to be helpful in the long run. We do get the Gyro Ball as expected, going to ram into the Clefable, and I'm going to hold that red card against that Ferrothorn and say, get out of here, Ferrothorn, and as we have that Ferrothorn switch out. Stealth Rock does break any sashes, and we do get Aegislash coming in, so can work. I think the main thing here is that Aegislash will most likely go for probably is going to knock me out next turn. So I am going to go ahead and fire off this Moonblast. It's not going to be very effective, but it should do decent damage here, especially at +2. So we are going to fire off this Moonblast. Let's see what it does. Not too much. Aegislash is going to go ahead and stance change, and it's going to go ahead and attack here, utilizing the Flash Cannon. So looking at this, I feel like I'm going to play this in a different way. I am going to go ahead and bring in the Dragovish, but I'm going to Dynamax it. And the reason here is that I actually don't need to outspeed my opponent at all. I just need to hit him hard and hit him strong with impressive power. So I am going to Dynamax and use this Max Darkness, and that gives me the flexibility to kind of maneuver the board here. So the opponent doesn't switch out. It is possible that they are going to go for something like a King Shield, but that is okay. I think with 2 Max Darknesses, that will be enough to knock out Aegislash, making it easier to deal with Ferrothorn in the long run. I can use things like, Will-O-Wisp and things like that. Aegislash does protect itself thanks to that King Shield, but totally fine in this case. I will fire off this Max Darkness, so it won't fully protect itself, but it will take some damage here. So here comes the Max Darkness. Let's see how much damage it does. Doesn't do too much, as expected, but the next Max Darkness should be able to do a decent amount here. The special defense of Aegislash goes down, but it doesn't really help out, and Aegislash does recover. Oh, and it reveals the weakness policy coming out, as expected. Well, kind of expected. But Aegislash is a great user of weakness policy for sure. Does Aegislash look at this opportunity in Dynamax? It does. And so Aegislash Dynamaxing opens up a couple of opportunities. It will make it harder to knock out Aegislash. But I don't know. This is a tough one. Because what's going to happen here is that Aegislash will have to do something like... Alright, so we are going to get this Max Darkness. So it is going to be harder to knock out Aegislash thanks to the Dynamax. Yeah, that unfortunately isn't going to do too much here. And Aegislash gets to fire off a very powerful Max Phantasm. That makes it incredibly hard to deal with. Wow, that was a very slow stance change. And are we going to see the Max Phantasm? We are. And that's going to be harder for Corsola to deal with in the long run. Dragovish is knocked out handedly. And Dragovish, unfortunately, is knocked out. It is a tough thing. I think one thing I could have done was Fissier's Run, but because Aegislash does lower my attack, that was something I didn't want to see. So, kind of playing through this, I think that if I had a better answer to... And that was the reason why I wanted a Fire-type. Ferrothorns were harder to deal with. This is actually a dumb move. I should have done... oh, never mind. He outspeeds anyways. So that's enough for a knockout. There's no way Corsola can survive. That was great. Oh, man. It happens to the best of us for sure. But yeah, I think that Aegis Slash was in Fair Throne really tough, and good steel types are really hard to deal with. One of the reasons why I did want Volcarona for sure on the team, but I think it was harder to fit her in. And I think that might be something I might do where, actually, does Haxorus learn a fire type move? Because that might be helpful. Let's see. Because Haxorus could, if Haxorus learns a fire type move, then I think what that does is that, I mean, because the fighting type moves aren't as important, right? And Haxorus learning a fire type move, I mean, they hit the same, but then I get more coverage on steals, right? And I think that's more important here. Let's see, where is Haxorus? Haxorus, where you be? Excuse me. There you are. Let's see if you do learn a fire type move. Can you? If you could sort TM by type too, that would be helpful. Like Fire Punch, for instance. So you don't know Heat Crash. Okay. Can't learn Fire Punch, Fire Wave. You can't learn it. You can't even learn Fire Fang. Dang it. That would have been super helpful. There are other Pokemon that could play the same role Haxorus does. Haxorus is really good, though, because it does have the Mold Breaker ability. But, you know, even Earthquake could work, too. I could definitely use Earthquake. Let me actually pull up. So, okay. I got my internet browser on my other screen. Come on. There we go, okay. So I am curious to see what Pokemon learn Dragon Dance and also have a fire type move. I think Salamence would be really great. When Salamence is back, and Dragonite too, Dragonite can easily survive one attack. Lumberry works really well on it. I think both will be amazing Pokemon as they come back, especially with their abilities. But yeah, I am curious to see Dragon Dance. Okay. Who all learns Dragon Dance to kind of set this up? So Kingdra could learn it. Kingdra would be interesting. It doesn't learn fire type moves. Flygon could. Flygon has base 100 attack. I think the Haxorus is really attractive because it has 147 attack. Como-O has 110, which isn't bad. Flapple has 110 as well. Hustle would actually make it really strong. So that's one way you could play it. But Flapple also is pretty slow. Dragapult with 120 attack, you get an incredible speed boost with that, but honestly that speed boost is overkill with 142 speed. But that's one way you can look at it too. Gyarados learns this, so Gyarados could be a setup Pokemon for it, 81 speed, 125 special attack is good. Tyranitar has 134, but it's not allowed in this format. Witchcraft is pretty weak. Crawdont is actually really good with 120 base attack. And adaptability hurts. Scrafty would work. I think Crawdont and Scrafty's main problems are they're pretty slow to begin with. Haxorus is at 97, so that speed boost is helpful. Hydreigon can learn it, but it really doesn't need it. Special attack is better. Salazar can learn it. It has terrible attack to begin with. Noivern, not as great either. Como-O could work. Flapple would probably be okay. Necrozma could learn it, but Necrozma's not allowed in this format. Yeah, it's harder because, like, the Pokemon that don't really have close to what Haxorus has as far as, like, its usability. Like, Flygon could learn it. Does Flygon, what fire type moves does Flygon know? I know Flygon does learn fire type moves. I only know Sunny Day. What? It knows Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Heat Wave. Okay, so it doesn't learn physical fire type moves. That stinks. That's rough. Yeah, I don't think any other Pokemon what I want can do that. Dragapult could be mixed. The nice thing about Dragapult being it, but Dragapult's also not available in this format. Alright guys, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and I think we're just going to go ahead and just do some hatching for the Galarian Darmanitan Zen mode. So I'm going to go ahead and save my game. Super excited we got to Master Rank. Still giving away Shinies and all that, and I will see you guys right after this short break. Y'all take it easy. Don't go anywhere. Or if you want to go anywhere, you can. Like, it's a free country. Or it's the internet. You can do whatever. But yeah, we'll be right back. Alrighty, thank you again for your patience, folks. It looks like we did have some drop frames here, but it looks like everything's back to normal. Uh-oh. Hang on. Hang on 1 second, folks. Okay, now we're looking... I'm looking at the stats on OBS. I want to make sure it's okay. But luckily we ain't in the battles or anything, so not too worried here. Okay, hang on. We are getting some drop frames, so we'll just have to be careful. Hang on, I got an idea. No, that didn't improve anything. Wait, actually it did. Awesome. Alright, I figured it out. Cool. For some reason, if you queue up the bumper, the commercial bumper... So I have a commercial bumper. Nope, it got worse. It went back to its bad rate. Anyways, we'll let it go. As long as I'm not getting disconnected, I'm okay with that. But yeah, man, this is the first time it's been acting like this. And I set everything up too, so... Man, I am kind of worried because I want to make sure that the Crown Tundra stream, we don't have to worry about anything like this, but we'll make sure that it works out well before then. Anyways, as you guys might not know, I am... Oh, wait. Why is Haxorus here? Oh, yeah, duh, because I was trying to figure out if I had, like, a fire-type move, and it doesn't. Okay. Get back there. Alright, cool. Anyways, what we're hatching are some Galarian Darumakas, and the idea is to hopefully have them have the hidden ability Inner Focus. That means that they will have the Zen mode ability when they become Galarian Darmanitan, and that one is going to be a really cool one. I don't know if I want to make a team based on that. It would be kind of cool, but I'm not sure exactly what that team's dynamic would be. But yeah, no, if you guys have any ideas on a team behind that, or kind of some suggestions, love to hear them. Yeah, I'm trying to think too of like, I think Galarian Corsola actually learns Stealth Rock, if I'm not mistaken. So that could also be something we could play around with, is chain up Corsola's moveset. Oh, I had a Corsola I was hatching. Okay. Speaking of Corsola, that was hilarious. I remember throwing a random egg here, so that probably is that Corsola from that egg. Curse body? Mm-hmm. Okay, everything but HP is perfect. So if you guys wanted a Corsola, let me know. Corsola has been amazing, and a lot of my teams have used it. It's definitely a bedrock on a lot of my teams for sure. Okay, looks like OBS is now back to normal. So that's good to see. Yeah, nothing too crazy right now. We're just hatching some eggs. Hopefully we're going to get some Pokemon that we are looking forward to. We got the Darumaka. So we're going to see if this Darumaka, this Snowman Darumaka, does have the Inner Focus ability and 5 IVs. If so, then we are ready to play. We got a perfect Darumaka ready to go. Close. We got everything but HP. I already have that already, though, so not a big deal. If you guys are looking for any Pokemon like that, let me know. Oh, well, here comes another Darumaka. I'm more than happy to trade it. But one tech I was really excited about was the Klefki and the red card. Well, it was a Klefki, then it turned into Clefable, but the red card was such a fun technique. Being able to set up Stealth Rock and being able to hit, like, the Urshifu's that randomly switch in with Moonblast is so great. And I absolutely enjoyed being able to do that. So, one of my absolute favorite techs. I am very happy that it worked. And I hope it'll work even further, and we continue seeing those red card, the red card tech. I think in formats like this, it really is helpful. Also helps kind of counter against Poltegeist, just because with Poltegeist, it requires you to hold an item, and because you've already consumed your item, you don't have to worry about that. I remember we were watching earlier today, there was the, how good was Pokemon actually? I enjoy that series from False Swipe Gaming. And they had Golurk, and they talked about Golurk using Poltegeist, and one tech that they had against it was a non-item Slowbro, Galarian Slowbro. But something that might be helpful is maybe having an item on Slowbro, but immediately having it consumed once it hits the field. And that could help kind of deal with it. So, Another good Darimaka, close to perfect, but not there yet. Honestly, I've been breeding so much that it's much easier to be like, yeah, let me get the IVs, and only get them to 50. Because that means that's less rare candies you have to use and less resources, and I can use those resources for other Pokemon. Like, for instance, Legendaries are harder to get to all 6 perfect IVs, especially if you transfer them up from Sword and Shield, or, I'm so sorry, X and Y, or Sun and Moon. Just because RNG abuse doesn't really exist in those generations. Like, there are some things, but it wasn't as common as in the other ones. And so it's easier, and especially here in 7th Gen, because they're like, oh yeah, well, if you can use gold caps, bottle caps, why do you need an RNG abuse? Just get the hidden power that you want, and you're good. Or just get the, in some cases, like, get the nature you want and the hidden power, and you're good. And so that's what kind of something that's been helpful. Alright, we got the Hustle one. So not exactly the Galarian, not exactly the hidden ability one, but I actually haven't gotten one of these yet either. So I am very glad that I got a Hustle Darumaka. So that's perfect. Cool, that's 2 birds and 1 stone. With 1 stone, we'll breed that one, and then we'll get the other one. The Hustle one turns into the Guerrilla Tactics Darmanitan. So that's an easy one. Slap on a Choice Scarf and go to town with that. Very similar to Dracovish, and as far as its role, it's a wall breaker for sure. And just supposed to hit hard and hit fast. But yeah, definitely game to use one of those on the team as well. It was very popular early on in Sword and Shield. Kind of fell out of favor. It also fell out of flavor. But it can always come back for sure. I will be curious to see what actually happens with Galarian Darmanitan like that though. This format made it easier to play, but I think the lack of priority also makes it's a nice thing for it. We're going to see, yeah, and also next season is going to have a lot of legendaries come back, including Heatran, Tapu Lele, and all those. So I do have a lot of Pokemon from those games that I can transfer up, and so I am looking forward to having that happen. So another Hustle one, we don't need that one. Let's go ahead and get you in one of these boxes. We're probably going to have to go ahead and go into we probably have to go through Pokemon Home and change that out real quick. Also game to play doubles as well. It's been a while since I played doubles, so I'm game to try that out, see what's going on there, and we can go from there. So, yeah, I'll hatch. How many more eggs do I have? Let's see. So I should have 3. Let me grab 2 more eggs. Right? I'll grab 2 more eggs. We'll hatch these 5. And then we'll go into, well, we'll hatch 1. Let's see what happens here. Because if I have the inner focus, basically I want to check, because if I have the inner focus, I'm done. I'm not gonna, I don't care. I only need 1. Alrighty, let's go. Check out this Darumaka. Nope. Not the stats I want. All good, all good. It also helps too, back in the day when I used to do Wonder Trading, it was super helpful because a lot of trainers, like, you'd Wonder Trade, and they would give you breeding rejects. And so, like, that was perfect because, like, oh, this one's 3 IVs or 4 IVs. And I'd use that actually to inspire a lot of teams of, like, oh, cool, this is pretty close to perfect. Let me go breed this one and make a team based on it, which is really fun. I'm also really stoked when Zapdos comes back in the game. I have a Zapdos from XD, and it has the National Ribbon, so it's a Shadow Pokemon, so I'm really excited for that Zapdos to come back, and then be like, go Zapdos the Triumphant. Especially now, too, if they can bump them up to level 100, bottle cap them, and also change the ability natures with mints. It makes these Pokemon so much more versatile. So I'm really excited to see that Zapdos used in competitive battling. Especially too of like, yeah, that's a swag move of like, yo, I have XD. Oh, and we did it, guys. We got the oh no, we did not, because the attack is decent. Ah, you tricked me. You tricked me, Darumaka. I thought we got it. We were so close. There you go, if you guys. Hey, what is up, Hintamura? I am giving away pretty much any shiny. So how this works is pretty straightforward. Guess a number 1 through 10. And I'm going to show you my shiny box right now. So, I don't have Nightbot set up, unfortunately. I need to get better at that. But basically, I have all the way from this Magikarp down. Not the Zero Aura, but like, so this Magikarp, all these Pokemon are being given away. They're all shiny. Some of them are G-Max and some of them aren't. The Psyduck and Venusaur are also giveaways too. So, Venusaur can also Dynamax. So, if you want, go ahead and guess the number 1 through 10. I'm going to roll the die right now. The die has been rolled. Go ahead and guess the number 1 through 10 to see if you get a shiny. And then I will let you know if you guess the number right. Oh, by the way, I missed this. Yo, Hintamura, you guessed, like, you ready for this? You got it right, dude. Look at that. It's a 6. All right. You get a shiny. All right, Hintamura, let me know which shiny you want. I have, and let me show you my boxes once again. I have basically this Magikarp. I have a Sylveon. I have a Morpeko. I have a 1 G-Max Grimmsnarl. I have a Toxtricity, another non-G-Max Tox. I have 2 Toxtricities. One can G-Max, one can't. A Lucha, Gardevoir, Indeedee, Copperajah, Charizard, G-Max. Yeah, pick out whatever you want. I could name them all until the cows come home, but yeah. This Meowth can G-Max as well. Ninetales, I got Dwebble, Togepi, Miltank, Vibrava, this Psyduck, and this Venusaur. So just let me know, and it is yours. Alright, sounds great. Cool. I will go ahead and bring us to full screen to hide the code. And let me go ahead and whisper to you that code. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and go to link trade. Alright, we'll get back into the gameplay now since we've been... okay, no worries, Hintamura. Let me go ahead and just I'll just message it here. I think we don't have that many viewers here. Let me know your in-game trade, in-game name, and I can make sure that you will get the Sylveon here. Okay, perfect. Hintaro. So I'll make sure to look out for Hintaro. Cool. Alright, there you are. By the way, earlier on, Kawaii Boy Girl went in ahead and gave us a follow. I am so sorry I missed that, and I just want to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, wow. Dude, are you sure? Like, I appreciate it. But you really... I appreciate the Zarude for sure, but no worries. If you want it back, let me know, because I mean, I would hate for you to lose one of your only event Pokemon if it's the only one that you got. But yeah, enjoy the Sylveon. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot. And yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the Zarude. It is nice to have one on the team, so appreciate it. But yeah, enjoy the Sylveon. Unfortunately, this one wasn't Pixelite. We did run into it into a Max Den. But in the Crown Tundra, it is alluded that you can get a yeah, I'll get your lead card. You can actually, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It means a lot. But you can get in the Crown Tundra a ability capsule that changes to hidden ability. So if you do want to use that Sylveon for something like that later down the line, you're more than welcome to. Cool. We'll go ahead and put this Zarude into the box for now. and we'll continue forth. Yeah, feel free, yeah, I don't mind. Feel free to guess another number, and we'll see if you got lucky. I'm going to roll the die one more time. Okay, die has been rolled, and if you want, you can guess again and see if you get another shiny. Alright, come on, Darumaka, please be the inner focus, perfect IVs. That's what I'm talking about. So we got the Darumaka. Man, inner focus, but his attack is bad. I mean, granted, I know, I could level it up and hyper train it, but I want to save my bottle caps for, like, the legendaries. Like, those are the Pokemon that are going to be harder to get the 6 IVs for, because you can't breed them, right? And so that's what I want to save my bottle caps for. I got a ton from Diamond and Pearl, and we can all, we can make them swag. They have the Sinnoh region ribbon, and all that. So that's kind of what I want to really save it for. I also do have a Tapu Lele in, whatchamacallit, Sun and Moon that has all of the Alolan ribbons. And so I'm thinking about transferring her up and using her, which is going to be really exciting. Because then I'm going to have all the ribbons, and she'll be kind of like my Alolan ribbon champion. And she'll also have the ribbons from here, too, with the best friends and all that. But, yeah, really excited to use Tapu Lele for sure. But that might take a little bit of time to get there. We'll see. Alrighty, so we'll hatch this Darumaka. Please, Darumaka, please be inner focus. Every IV perfect except for attack. I'm so sorry, special attack. Oh my goodness. I think I jinxed myself. I think I'm going to get another one that has perfect everything but attack, because I said that. Shaking my head, Steven. Come on, Steven. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we got with this Darumaka. This Darumaka is, well, everything but defense and speed, so taking one step back. Alrighty, I think what we'll do, yeah, I don't want to just keep on hatching Darumakas. I want to make sure we are having a fun time. We're playing this game. We could go in to do more battles. We could do some max raids. I'm game for whatever. If you guys want to do max raids, I'm more than happy to do them. I don't know any, like, exploits to get shinies or anything, so it won't be as exciting. You know what? Let's go back into battling. I think that's going to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and change my... go ahead and save the thing. And I'm going to go ahead and change the title of this stream. And we're going to go ahead and say... we'll go back into doubles. Yeah, let's do doubles. And we'll still give away some shinies. So, we'll take a break every, like 3 battles or so. I'll exit, and we can give away a shiny. That sounds awesome. Cool. Let's get back in there, and let's see what is going on in the world of doubles. It's been a while since I played. I was playing singles for the longest time, and so on our last episode when we played doubles, I think a while back, we actually got all the way up to Master Rank, which is awesome to see. And so I'm really excited if we can continue this tradition. So with that, I'm trying to remember... Oh, well, I dropped a couple points just because I haven't been playing in a while. But yeah, this team... Oh, shoot, that Gastrodon actually doesn't have an item. That's good. I'm glad I saw that. Okay. So with Gastrodon, I do need leftovers. Do I have extra leftovers? Okay. Who also has leftovers? You have a citrus berry, some citrus berries. Oh, Politoed has leftovers, but you're not on the team. I'm going to go ahead and give you the Gastrodon. Are you on that team? No, you're not. So, this team is pretty interesting. I won't say it's like the best team ever, but it does use a couple of techs that I really enjoy. It has Primarina, it has Grimmsnarl, it has Ninetales, it has Gastrodon, Corsola, and Hydreigon. This team has a lot of poison weakness, for sure, especially with the Ninetales, Grimmsnarl, and Primarina. But you really don't see poison moves as often, so I kind of feel comfortable with that. But anyways, this was the team that helped me get to the Master Rank last time, so let's give them a shot. Grimmsnarl is also super nice because it is immune to other prankster shenanigans, and it can use Fate Tears to kind of help lower the special defense of some of my opponents. I think this Grimmsnarl is that one. Oh shoot, wait, I don't want to do this. No, cancel. Oh shoot, okay. Ninetales doesn't have an item either. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. That's okay. I guess we just won't use Ninetales in our first battle. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, Ninetales usually has a Focus Sash. And the idea behind it is sets up the Aurora Veil, making it easier for Hydreigon to survive at least one attack and get off a max attack. Ninetales also has Ice Shard if I want to activate it myself, but I tend usually not to. But yeah. I could also, now that I think about it, I could also use things like Vanillux, because Ninetales is fairy typing. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what Ninetales fairy typing does. So, here we have Mateo. Mateo has Ferrothorn, Amoonguss, Hitmontop, Primarina, Dusclops, and Colossal. So, able to actually set up its own, kind of. I think what it's going to do is actually use Bulldoze to set up Colossal. So, a little bit different than what we usually are used to here. Gastrodon, it doesn't look as great, despite the fact that I do want to deal with Primarina. I like the fact that Hydreigon actually threatens this team out pretty well. And at the end game, I could use Corsola to help out. Grimmsnarl might actually be helpful. I have to remember, does Grimmsnarl have... No, it does not have Fake Tears. It just has Light Screen. Okay. But yeah, Grimmsnarl might be helpful. I can use Grimmsnarl Hydreigon, have Corsola in the back, and I think Primarina can also help out in the long run too. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change that where it's Grimmsnarl Primarina, then Hydreigon and Corsola. Yeah. Main thing here is that if I recognize that the Colossal is going to go Dynamax, I can use that to my advantage of tricking it, and then max the Hydro Vortex. Alright, not Hype. I'm thinking of the Z moves. I could use Max Geyser, or I could use Hyper Voice and still do a lot of damage there. The Steam Engine won't activate, I take away the Weakness policy, so I get to do a lot of things with that type of move here. So let's see what this opponent is going to throw out at us. I am curious to see if we're going to be able to maneuver around Mateo. But yeah, I totally forgot to put the Focus Sash on Ninetales, so I need to go back and do that. Mateo is going to go ahead and lead off with Hitmontop and Dusclops. So a good opportunity here to see something like, hey, the opponent might do something like Frisk. It will Frisk for sure. But Wide Guard could also come out, and Dusclops actually exerts his pressure. So interesting that we see that instead of Frisk. So we're going to go ahead and set up the trick here. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and double up into the Hitmontop slot. I'm going to go ahead and use Moonblast, and I'm going to go ahead and use Spirit Break. And I think combined with these two attacks, that should be plenty to be able to knock it out. So we are going to see the Fake Out on the Grimmsnarl. Totally fine here. I do fire off this Moonblast. And that is able to knock out Hitmontop, which is very helpful here. Hitmontop is knocked out, and I flinch, but I do get the Trick Room set up here. So, not necessarily a bad place, because I have stopped any shenanigans with Wide Guard. If Colossal comes out, then that's also not bad, because I can... Perfect. Most likely, Colossal is going to Dynamax at this moment. And that means that Dusclops is going to try to set up this, the Bulldoze. So I am going to Trick to take away that Bulldoze from the Dusclops ability, and then I'm just going to Hyper Voice. The Lagging Tail will slow down Colossal well, and then I can next turn steal the Eviolite and make it harder for Colossal to really make things happen. So Colossal is going to Dynamax here. Totally fine here, even if I have to run into a... yeah, because I expected this as much. You're going to use the Bulldoze mechanic here. So we do see the ally switch, actually. So interesting choice here. I get off the trick. And we're going to see the G-Max Vocalist. Okay, Grimmsnarl takes that. Okay, not too bad here. So that is going to... Actually, it's going to be nice for me. Because the problem here is that you, I think, activate your own Steam Engine. Nope, you don't have Steam Engine. Okay, interesting to see that. And the Vocalith is going to do some damage here. But I think what I can do... This is a cheeky play, but I'm gonna go ahead and Thunder Wave my own Primarina to cut down my speed, and then I'm gonna Hyper Voice again to knock out. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and set up. Actually, I'm gonna set up Light Screen, and then I'm gonna Hyper Voice here. So we are going to see the max overgrowth, most likely going into the Primarina slot. I won't be able to survive, which is awesome to see, actually. But the question here is that, thanks to that light screen, so shout out to Grimmsnarl for setting that up. Do we see the Nightshade going into the Grimmsnarl slot? Oh, I actually get to underspeed Dusclops because of that lagging tail. Nice critical hit on that Colossal, and that is enough to knock out the Colossal. So looking great here. Yeah, I luckily knock out the Hitmontop, preventing the Colossal from really getting an advantage there. And we do see the Nightshade go into the Primarina, so without that lagging tail switch, that would have been problematic for sure. So looking great on our end, being able to really put the pressure on this Dusclops. Grimmsnarl is going to be taking enough damage from the G-Max Vocalith to be knocked out. But I think I really do set myself up for success for the last two Pokemon to really make it work. So we have Corsola and we're going to have Hydreigon. Trick Room means that Hydreigon is going to be a little bit slower than the rest of the Pokemon, but we can make this work in the long run. We're going to have Ferrothorn come out, and Hydreigon, the Kalos champion. Joining him is going to be Corsola, the Galar champion. So two previous Galar. Hey, what is up, Pokemon Go Slowbro? Great to see you here. How you doing today, by the way? I am super excited to have you here on today's stream. We're going to go ahead and use a... we're going to go ahead and use Nightshade. You know what? I am going to go ahead and do this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and set up Will-O-Wisp on the Ferrothorn. And I'm going to go ahead and just protect. Actually, I do need to see how many more turns of Trick Room we have. Trick Room has 2 more turns. Okay. Will-O-Wisp on the Ferrothorn. Protect on the Hydreigon. Dusclops goes for the ally switch. Totally fine here. Glad to hear you're doing great, Pokemon Go. And we do see the Body Slam coming out into the Hydreigon, so perfect opportunity for me to go ahead and set up a Dynamax here. And I can use that to target a Max Darkness into the Dusclops slot. Dusclops does heal up its HP thanks to the... grassy terrain. I also get some healing thanks to the grassy terrain, but it is going to actually make it a little bit harder for Hydreigon to take in so many hits. But luckily now, and the burn actually cuts that down too, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Nightshade in the Ferrothorn slot. I'm just going to go ahead and Dynamax and fire off a... yeah, because what's going to happen is that... Okay, hang on. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire off the Nightshade in the Dusclops slot. Expecting Dusclops to ally switch, I'm going to go ahead and fire it off in the Ferrothorn slot. Even if it doesn't ally switch, thanks to the Dynamax and the weakness policy, I should be doing a considerable amount to this Ferrothorn. And most Ferrothorns that I've ran into in doubles usually don't carry Leech Seed, so I'm hopeful to use that to my advantage here. So we got Hydreigon and that Dynamax ready to go and rip things up. Let's see how far we're going to make this work. We do see the body press. I'll take that like a champ thanks to the Dynamax. And perfect opportunity to go ahead and set up this weakness policy. That's going to boost up all of my attacks here. Corsola goes off with the Nightshade, going to hit off this Dusclops here, and that should be a good amount here. Doesn't knock out Dusclops immediately, but it does put it in a tough spot. And Ferrothorn is close to within knockout. So really, the next turn, it doesn't matter what the opponent does, because I'll be able to knock it out. Trick Room is over, and we do see the Nightshade on Hydreigon, but a little bit too late here, as no matter what the opponent does, it's a checkmate situation. Everyone is going to heal up a little bit thanks to the grassy terrain here. we are going to be hit with that VGMax Vocalith. An interesting choice to not use Colossal in the Steam Engine aspect, but really it just didn't pay off in the long run here, and we were able to capitalize on that. Trick Room is over. I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Nightshade in the Dustclap slot because it doesn't matter. I'm going to fire off a Max Darkness into the Ferrothorn slot. Again, doesn't matter what the opponent does here. It is pretty much game, set, and match. So we are going to see the ally switch, but totally at this point of the game, both of my Pokemon are outspeeding the opponent. I do fire off this Max Darkness. Pokemon Go Slowbro, would I like to battle? Sure, I don't mind. I'm not really doing anything too crazy. Let me ask, is it singles, doubles? What's the format? Are we playing with the Series 6 rules? Are we playing, you know, what are you looking at? Alright, and Corsola is alright, doubles. Are we going to be playing the battle spot rules, where it's you pick out 6, you go 4? And we're able to win, so that was an awesome match right there. Really knocking out the Hitmontop turn 1 was really helpful. And being able to set up those KOs right after another was awesome. Alright, everyone got a Master Rank too. Yeah, I'm curious to see the team. I'd like to see more. So, Assault Vest on the Ferrothorn, great call out there. Poison Jab is interesting. I wouldn't necessarily say it would be a good move, just because you're already hitting fairies well with Gyro Ball anyways. But, interesting to see that. We have the Mungus with Rage Powder. I'm very glad I didn't have to deal with it. The eject button, Hitmontop, being able to switch out as soon as it gets hit. But yeah, again, Hitmontop really didn't... I think it was such a passive turn. I think I see what would have happened. You would have tried to fake out the Hitmontop. It would have switched out. Dustclops gets to set up Trick Room, and you go from there. But the main thing here is that it didn't actually have White Guard, but I was prepared just in case it did. We have the Primarina. Primarina having Life Orb. And we have the Dustclops utilizing Pressure. I think that would have been that was harder for Dustclops in the long run, just because it couldn't see my item. And also, too, the lagging tier was so helpful, making it move last regardless of the speed tier. And that made it easier to deal with it in the long run. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and quit for now. Our good friend Pokemon Go Slowbro has challenged us to a battle. Slowbro, go ahead and throw us the code, and we'll hop in there. I need to get a new format for that, though, for battling. Just because one thing that I like to do in battles is, of course, I don't want to just reveal the movesets and things to make it easier, to give y'all a fair challenge. But I will go ahead and use the team that I just showed in the format. Actually, that reminds me, I do need to change out Ninetales' move. Alright, sounds great. I will go ahead and log in real quick. Let me go ahead and change my held items. Oh yeah, perfect. Alakazam I haven't used in a long time. So you can go to Ninetales. Perfect. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and find one battle, and we'll go from there. Alright, Mateo, I have put in all of the zeros. Let's make sure that, let me know, is your... Oh, I'm so sorry. No worries. Pokemon Go Slowbro, just to make sure I got the right person. Are you Travis? Cool, perfect. Yes, I am Smiles. Hey, what is up, Daniel? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Glad to have you here as we go into this battle real quick versus our good friend Pokemon Go Slowbro. That's totally fine. I will go ahead to pick Please Work. This is the team I've been using for a little bit. Let's say, change the rules. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Nah, that's fine. You can, I'm so sorry, Slowbro. Go ahead and change, go ahead and recount this. I'm more than happy for you to select these rules again. I totally forgot. I thought I was the one selecting it. Yeah, you can go ahead and decide. Not a big deal. By the way, guys, I am also giving away shiny Pokemon. I don't have Nightbot installed, unfortunately. So I need to go ahead and take care of that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to roll a d10 die. Whatever number it lands on, guess the number, and if you guess right, you get a shiny Pokemon. So rolling that die, feel free to guess whatever, and if you guess right, you get a shiny Pokemon. Alright, so Travis actually has a pretty interesting scene. We actually see Carbonaut. So a lot of, interesting. Okay, so we're going to use full 6 on 6. Okay. Okay. Alright, so, Slowbro guessed 7. Daniel, do you have a guess for us? Alright, so Alakazam and Slowbro are going to be sent out versus Grimmsnarl and Ninetales. So interesting choices here. I can see a lot of different plays coming out, especially with the whole, I think the main thing here that I want to be mindful of is kind of the setup that could happen with Trick Room could happen. We could also see a kind of early lead of yeah, I feel like I want to give the Lagging Tail to Alakazam right now. So we are going to go ahead and set up this trick before any Psychic Terrain is set up, making Alakazam a little bit slower here. I actually get a Toxic Orb, so interesting choices there for items. I love that tech there. Yep, that's a good call out. I like that a lot. So we actually do see the trick, the double trick coming in. Alakazam switching into my Grimmsnarl, so kind of a slower turn there. But we get the sidearm coming out from the Galarian Slowbro. Thanks to the hail, easier to deal with that in the long run. Slowbro is going to be taking damage thanks to that hail as well. So a relatively interesting turn. We haven't really seen too much action here. Alakazam gets poisoned, but thanks to your Magic Guard, you actually won't be taking too much damage. You won't take any damage from that. I think here what I want to do... Yeah. That's an interesting tech. I like that idea. I am going to fire off this Blizzard, trying to get some decent damage here. And Alakazam does go ahead and fire off that trick here. That does mean I will lose the Lagging Tail. And I will be Toxic Orbed here. Slowbro goes into another attack with that sidearm, and that will be enough to knock out Ninetales. So Ninetales is knocked out here. And this will give me a chance to use Spirit Break onto the Alakazam slot, and that should be enough to knock out Alakazam. So trading 1 for 1, Alakazam and Grimmsnarl. Right now, Slowbro and Grimmsnarl are both going to be buffeted by the hail, but Slowbro gets to recover its HP thanks to the Black Sludge here. Alright, kind of thinking about what might happen next. And I finally get that poison thanks to the Toxic Orb here. Yeah, kind of... Yeah, I kind of feel like I need to be a little bit more defensive here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and send in Corsola, the Galarian champion. And we are actually going to see Urshifu come out to play. This is the Water Urshifu, so that is helpful to see. I think what I want to do here is go ahead and utilize Nightshade on the Slowbro. I think I'm just going to go ahead and switch out this Grimmsnarl here. Grimmsnarl is going to switch out. Hopefully going to be able to absorb maybe a Surging Strike Sex coming my way. And we are actually going to see the Iron Head come into the Gastrodon slot. So good switch in regardless. That Iron Head is going to be helpful. We are going to see the Flamethrower coming from the Slowbro into the Corsola. Take that like a champ thanks to all the Eviolite boosts and the Aurora Veil. Doing a decent amount to the Slowbro here. Alrighty, so everyone's going to be taking some damage thanks to the hail, but both Slowbro and Gastrodon will be recovering some of their HP thanks to the Black Sludge and the leftovers, respectively. Alright, well, with the dice roll, since I don't think we have any other guesses, unfortunately, it was an incorrect dice roll. We are at, the dice roll was actually a 10, so 0 on the die equals a 10. So, unfortunate there, but you know what? Pokemon Go Slowbro, for playing this round anyways, you know what? Everyone gets a shiny Pokemon. So after this, I will go ahead and give out a shiny Pokemon. We're going to see the Dynamax coming out from our good friend Slowbro. Curious to see what type of attacks we might see coming out here. Here comes the Urshifu, the G-Max Urshifu, which is interesting. And so I'm curious to see what tech options we might see from this Urshifu in the long run. Gastrodon is going to protect. I am going to take it a little bit easy. And we are going to see the Max Steel Spike going into the Corsola slot. So, decent amount of damage there. Corsola does take that like a champ thanks to the Aurora Veil and her Eviolite boost. And so, the defense increase from the Slowbro might be a little bit problematic in the long run. Double up into the Corsola slot. So, that is something I have to be mindful of. And Corsola is going to be able to get off this final Nightshade. Should be enough to knock out this Slowbro. And there it is. Slowbro is knocked out here. Urshifu is going to be taking damage thanks to the Hail. And so are Corsola and Gastrodon here. Gastrodon was recovered thanks to the leftovers. Yeah, Corsola is a very defensive Pokemon. One of the hardest to kind of take down in the long run. So it's definitely a very helpful Pokemon indeed for doubles. I really enjoy Corsola a lot. We are going to see the Blastoise coming out, so something to be mindful of here. Both Gastrodon doesn't mind it too much, but Corsola does have to be mindful of any shenanigans thanks to Dark Pulse. I am just going to go ahead and fire off this Earth Power into the Blastoise slot, trying to get rid of it earlier rather than later. Blastoise is going to fire off a Blizzard. This is actually going to be 100% accurate thanks to my own weather that I set up. The freeze, I knew something like that was going to happen, unfortunately. I disable it, which is nice. And we're going to see the Max Mindstorm coming out into the Corsola slot. Corsola is able to take that with 41 HP. Corsola is going to be taking that damage there, but not too worried here because Corsola is about to activate one of my favorite attacks here. With this Strength Sap, I am going to go ahead and lower your attack and recover all of my HP here. I do have Storm Drain, absolutely. That was one thing that I wanted to do with this Gastrodon, making sure that it would stay pretty defensive. Yeah, Corsola is one of those Pokemon you just don't expect. But Corsola can become a huge threat if left alone. The Aurora Veil is over, so that is something I need to be mindful of. With that, I think what I want to do is go ahead and switch out Corsola. I don't think that she really has a kind of a... yeah, I can go ahead and switch into Grimmsnarl here. And I think with Gastrodon, I am going to keep it out. And I will try to fire off this Earth Power into the Blastoise slot. Yeah, you can't G-Max Rapid Flow. Yeah, you could try. If you want to take that risk, you're more than welcome to try that. We are going to see the Flash Cannon going into the Grimmsnarl slot, but I think I'm comfortable with taking that attack. And Urshifu does go for the Max Mindstorm, but luckily it doesn't affect me. Gastrodon actually thaws out, which I'm very lucky to see. I'm very happy to see that indeed. And we are going to go ahead and use that Earth Power here. Yeah, for sure. Very lucky. And also, too, Corsola already took all her healing and was able to be defensive there. So, felt like she already did her job that she needed to do. So that was helpful in the long run. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and use Trick on this Blastoise. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just fire off into that Blastoise slot one more time. Oh, yes, of course. That was me being dumb and forgetting the mechanics of Psychic Terrain. Hey, everyone forgets those mechanics. And there is Grimmsnarl being knocked out. But Grimmsnarl being knocked out isn't the end of the world. We are going to get this Iron Head. Not very effective. I do have to worry about a flinch, which could happen. I don't get the flinch, which is super helpful to see. And we're going to go ahead and fire off this Earth Power here. Gastrodon still holding on, being very comfortable here. And so, yeah, feeling great about this lead so far. Losing Grimmsnarl and Ninetales isn't too bad here. And I feel confident I can knock out this Blastoise in the next turn. I will go ahead and go with this Nightshade on the Blastoise as well as double. I'm going to double up in that slot. I think that that's going to be a helpful bet here. Trying to think what Urshifu could do potentially. So we are going to see the flash cannon firing off into the Corsola slot. I'm able to take that like a champ. Close combat going into the Gastrodon. Also decently well, which I'm glad to see here. Corsola is going to go for this Nightshade. Nightshade might be enough to knock out. It is, so that is great to see. Able to knock out Blastoise, and I will be able to get an somewhat of an advantage here with this Earth Power. Doing a decent amount to Urshifu. Nice thing about Gastrodon too is that because of its special attack, Urshifu is naturally known to have weak special defense, and thanks to that close combat, being able to prey on that was very helpful in the long run. So we are going to have Yeet Master, the flying type Cramorant, coming into play here. Cramorant has a couple of interesting tech options, so I'm going to go ahead and set up some light screens, making sure I can survive those well. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Earth Power, being able to deal with Cramorant in the long run. Cramorant is going to go ahead and dive, so that means that Cramorant isn't going to attack the next turn. But we are going to get the Iron Head into the Galarian Corsola slot. I do Curse Body it, disabling that Iron Head, and I do still get lucky, going to be able to set up the light screen here. That is true. If I do hit you, I know that I will have to deal with the Cramorant's attack here. But I think I can find ways to deal with Cramorant without hitting you, actually. We will see soon enough what that's going to look like. Knocking out the Urshifu is going to be very helpful, and the Psychic Train is over from the field. I don't actually have any other priority moves, but I should have remembered that earlier, but not a big deal here. We do see the Cinderace, and so I think I'm going to go ahead and double up into the Cinderace slot just to make sure that it's not going to be a bother in the long run here. Going to hit with the Scald, and we're going to hit with this Nightshade. Cinderace goes with the Flame Charge. I'm going to boost up its speed here, so that is something I need to be mindful of some of my faster Pokemon in the back. And we are going to see the dive activating my Storm Drain. Not necessarily a great opportunity. It's going to be a little bit interesting. We do have the Fist kind of going into there, so we have to be mindful that Cramorant can fire off that Fist. But this gives me an opportunity to just go ahead and double up into the Cinderace slot, being able to pick up that knockout here. Gastrodon able to be defensive here, healing up with that leftovers, and let's see what else. Okay, so it's Cramorant versus the world here. I think in this case I am going to go ahead and Strength Sap this Cramorant. I'm going to go ahead and switch out Gastrodon. I think at this point Gastrodon has done its job, and I am going to go ahead and fire off the Hydreigon. Oh, only water attacks. Ooh, unfortunate there. But I went ahead and switched out here, making it a little bit easier to deal with in the long run. So, there you go. I love that call. Great job on the Air Slash here. Able to take that decently well, thanks to the light screen that was already set up. So not too worried here. Corsola is going to be able to heal up. Yeah, this is going to be... I'm going to go ahead and use Will-O-Wisp. And I think what I'm going to do is going ahead and fire off this Max Wormwind. There isn't really anything stopping me from doing this. And even taking the damage from the fish probably won't be enough to kind of really sway the battle here. So here comes Hydreigon going to go ahead and Dynamax here, the Kalos champion, and kind of wrapping things up. Hey, no worries at all, man. I appreciate the match, and thank you for playing. Slowbo, before you head out, if you do want a shiny Pokemon for sure, I do have an Okay, no worries. We talked about this, and you were in the chat anyways. So I take a little bit of damage there, and Yeet Master, unfortunately, is knocked out. Daniel, if you would like to battle, let me know if it's singles or doubles, and what format you'd like to play, and we can go from there. Daniel, also, if you want a shiny, you're more than welcome to take one too. Let me know, though, Pokemon Go Slowbro. Would love to give you a shiny as well. Appreciate y'all following, by the way. Means a lot for the channel and our crew as we kind of build this up. So, Daniel, let me know if you want a shiny and or if you want to battle, and I can hand that over to you. Same with Pokemon Go Slowbro. If you have to head out now, no worries. But next time, hit me up on Twitter. Okay, double battle, sounds great. Go ahead and let me know the code, and I will make sure to input that. While you let me know the code, I do need to take a quick break. We'll be right back after that quick break. So give me 1 second, guys, and I will be right back, okay? Hey everybody, Smiles back here with Gamer Smiles. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm super excited. Daniel, go ahead and let me know your code that you want to use for your double battle. Alrighty, we got the code in the system. Let's go for it, and we are going to have this double battle. Let me go ahead and not link trade, link battle. We're going to do doubles. Sounds great, and it is 6-4. Alrighty. Cool. Super excited to see what's going to happen here, and I'm looking forward to it. I need to get a setup for kind of these double battles for sure. That way y'all can, yeah, and even not paying attention to team and things like that. But yeah, we'll have to do more of these. This is fun to play with viewers for sure. Awesome. Glad to see that is you. And I don't mind. You can select the rules. I can select the rules. Usually for me, I like to do battle spot doubles. You choose 4 out of the 6 that you have in your team, and then you can switch them out or whatever. But really doesn't matter. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and send in the Please Work team. This is the team that I used in my ladder to get to Master Rank. And we'll go from there. Alright, Daniel. Let's see what Pokemon you're going to bring into this fight. Alright, so Daniel brings some really interesting Pokemon, including some setups of Psychic Terrain. We have the Magearna. Magearna is really strong, utilizing that Floor Cannon, and also her attack, her ability, meaning that every time a Pokemon is knocked out, it will gain a +2 in, it gains a +1 in special attack. Another thing to note is that Daniel's team is very fairy focused, which makes it a little harder for Hydreigon to come in and do its job here. So I think what I kind of want to do here is kind of make it a little bit more defensive start. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with yeah, because of the Psychic Terrain, I do like the idea of Ninetales and Primarina, and the Assault Vest also will make it easier for me to survive a lot of these attacks. But yeah, a lot of strong Fairy-type Pokemon. This does make a challenge for sure, but once we can find the puzzle here and kind of break through things, I think we can make it easier in the long run. The Magearna is definitely one Pokemon I need to be mindful of, because every knockout equals a +2 in special attack, a +1 in special attack rather, and unfortunately I don't have a Clefable with Unaware. Even then, that actually wouldn't work out as well, because Clefable with Unaware is weak against Flash Cannon. Okay, so we have Gengar and Akrami facing off against Ninetales and Primarina. So looking at this, I will have to be mindful that I can be hit with a pretty strong poison attack, but having Akrami out here pretty early on is going to be helpful. Setting up the Aurora Veil, and then kind of going in with this Hyper Voice. Let's see what we can do here. I think that's going to be helpful in the long run, just getting some good damage out. So Akrami is actually going to go ahead and boost up the Gengar using that Decorate. So love that tech here. That gives Gengar a +2 into special attack, making it really hard to hit. a really hard-hitting Pokemon. I do set up the Aurora Veil as well, which is going to be helpful in the long run. And Gengar is going to go for the Poltergeist. Going to hit Primarina through my Assault Vest. So Poltergeist, very interesting tech because it's a physical attack. Primarina, thank you for the Aurora Veil being able to survive that hit relatively well. And as everyone gets buffeted thanks to the everyone's buffeted from the hail. Gengar does take a decent amount of damage from that Hyper Voice, and so revealing the Black Sludge as well. Crummy's going to go for that Decorate one more time on Gengar. Gengar becoming even stronger thanks to the Decorate's attack and special attack boost. Ninetales is going to be able to fire off this Blizzard with 100% accurate. Will it be enough to knock out Gengar before it can get that boost? Yes, it is. That is going to be helpful. And Primarina going to set up this Hyper Voice coming at full force against it. Crummy is going to get this double knockout here. So, Aurora Veil coming in. Making it easier for us to kind of deal with a lot of the really strong attacks that Daniel was going to throw at us in the long run. So, nice to see that for sure. Here's to see what Daniel's next Pokemon is. Those two knockouts will make it easier for the rest of my team to deal with. We are going to see the Indeedee, so priority from Grimmsnarl is pretty much going to be gone here. Indeedee is going to set up that Psychic Terrain. And we see Primarina, the Royal Majesty Master from the Battle Tower. Kind of cool thing there. So Indeedee does set up this Psychic Terrain here. It's going to make it harder, well, I don't know. It's going to make it harder for Grimmsnarl, but I think we can work with that. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the opponent, what Daniel will do in this bout. It is possible that Primarina to see the Energy Ball. We are able to hit pretty strongly with that. Indeedee fires off the Mystical Fire into the Ninetales slot. I take that decently well. I am brought down to, basically it's going to be a 2-hit knockout here. And I fire off this Energy Ball into the opposing Primarina. Does a decent amount of damage, not enough for a knockout here. And Primarina fires off its own Energy Ball, so us trading these Energy Balls here in the long run. Indeedee will be taking damage thanks to the hail, and so will Primarina. And the opposing Primarina as well. So I guess the question here is, what do I value more? Do I want to knock out... Well, I do want to hit off this Blizzard for sure. I do think that I am going to lose both of my Pokemon this turn, which isn't a problem in the long run. I think the momentum I've gained so far is going to be helpful. I think I do need to be mindful of the Magearna coming in. Magearna does only... with the Soul Heart is going to be pretty impressive. Alright, so we're actually going to see the Dynamax most likely from the opposing Primarina. A very interesting choice here. I am curious to see how I will adjust to that. As you can hear, the big Dynamax energy from that Primarina coming in full force. I do fire off this Blizzard, doing decent amount still to Indeedee here. Not effective on the Primarina, and we are going to see the Mystical Fire one more time into the Ninetales slot. That will be enough to knock out this Ninetales. So Ninetales is going to go out, but I felt that at this point Ninetales has done a considerable job. We are going to fire off this Energy Ball. Super effective here, and we are going to see the max overgrowth from Primarina go into my own Primarina. Going to do a lot of damage here. So my Primarina is knocked out, but the Grassy Terrain is going to be helpful in the long run. Mainly because what this does is it negates the Psychic Terrain, making it easier to deal with Primarina. Everyone's going to be taking damage thanks to the hail damage, and so will Primarina as well. But we do get some recovery thanks to the thanks to the Grassy Terrain as well, negating the damage from the hail thanks to the Grassy Terrain. I think in this case what I wish to do is go ahead and bring out Grimmsnarl. And I could also bring out Hydreigon. Alrighty. So in this juncture, what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Wave this Primarina, making sure it can't attack me. And then I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Max Quake into the Primarina slot, being able to knock it out. This will help kind of protect against any shenanigans that I might not be anticipating. Maybe the Primarina outspeed the Hydreigon, I'm not sure. But I just want to make sure I guarantee this. If I don't guarantee the knockout, then the Thunder Wave will be helpful to help mitigate a potential for Primarina to use something like to attack me, right? Thunder Wave has a chance at paralysis, so I do want to capitalize on that just in case something like that does happen here. So we do get the Thunder Wave onto the Primarina slot thanks to the grassy terrain, getting rid of the boost here. NDD does fire off this Mystical Fire into the Grimmsnarl slot. I take that comfortably. I do lower my special attack here, and Hydreigon is going to go fire off this Max Quake. Going to go ram itself into this Primarina. Not enough to knock out, so unfortunate there. That is something I didn't want to see. So we might see a Max Starfall coming in next. We do see that Max Starfall. Will it be enough to knock out my Hydreigon? I survived, thank goodness, and that survival is going to be clutch here. Being able to get off my own, weakness policy, but yeah, that Primarina coming in clutch with that defensive buffer is going to be incredibly tough to deal with. Aurora Veil is over. So I think in this case I am going to set up Light Screen, and I'm going to go ahead and fire off another Max Quake into the Primarina slot. We do need to knock out this Primarina pretty quickly here. Grimmsnarl does fire off this Light Screen, making it easier in the long run to deal with these special attacks coming my way. And I do get the Mystical Fire into the Hydreigon. Not very effective, but a great opportunity to lower my special attack. Most likely your Primarina is Assault Vest if I'm not mistaken. We are going to fire off this Max Quake. This will be enough to knock you out. With that +1, and we are able to maximize that, making it easier in the long run. Primarina being knocked out here is going to be nice, and I think at +1, I feel like I can deal with, I think there are ways I can deal with this, so let's see what happens. We are going to see Magearna the Cherished, the event Magearna coming out in full force here. But I think I have a way I can work through this. I am going to go ahead and use this this trick, and I'm going to fire off another Max Quake into the Magearna slot. The trick coming out, making sure that Magearna is going to hold this Lagging Tail, will make it easier for the rest of my Pokemon to deal with it in the long run. I do get the Pixie Plate. We are going to see the Mystical Fire. That does lower my special attack, unfortunately, but I think in the long run that will be helpful. We're going to fire off this Max Quake. Not enough to knock out Magearna, unfortunately, because I am at neutral attack here. And most likely I will be knocked out in this next attack, thanks to Magearna's next attack. We're going to see the Dazzling Gleam, actually. Dazzling Gleam has a decent amount of Grimmsnarl. It is enough to knock out the Hydreigon. Not Primarina. Excuse me. Magearna is going to activate that so hard, getting at that +1 special attack. Great opportunity for Gastrodon to come in, though. Thanks to its Earth Power, Gastrodon should be able to knock out this Magearna. I think the one thing I do need to be mindful of is this NDD getting in the way here. So I am going to go ahead and start Spirit Breaking, making sure it can't really do too much in the long run. And we're going to go ahead and fire off this Earth Power. NDD does fire off this Mystical Fire into the Gastrodon slot. Great choice here, lowering my special attack. But I am hopeful that the combination of these attacks will be enough to knock out the Magearna. We are going to get the Spirit Break here, able to knock out the NDD. Making sure those Mystical Fires don't bother anymore. Magearna does get this +2 though, so I do need to be mindful of that. We are going to get this Earth Power firing off into the Magearna slot. A -1 special attack is enough to still knock out the Magearna. So luckily here, Magearna unable to capitalize too much in the long run. And now I think we are at the final Pokemon of Daniel's. Curious to see what Daniel's, I forget what Daniel's last Pokemon is. But with Primarina off the field, that is going to be more comfortable for Gastrodon to deal with it in the long run. We do see the Hatterene come out, and this is great for me. Hatterene does have some strong Fairy-type attacks, but the nice thing here is that Grimmsnarl can keep on firing off these Spirit Breaks. I'm going to go ahead and switch out Gastrodon and reset its special attack, bringing in the Corsola, and we're just going to slowly but surely wear down Hatterene. I think at this point, Grimmsnarl has done its job. It really doesn't need to do anything else. It has set up the light screen. It has not gotten some key knockouts here. So really at this point, it's just slowly wearing down the opponent. We are going to see the Spirit Break come out into the Hatterene slot, making it easier for my team to deal with it in the long run. That lower special attack is so helpful here. And we are going to see the Trick Room setup. So not really worried about this, just because Hatterene might outspeed the team. But it is pretty much a 3-to-1. Hatterene has to get a lot of knockouts to make this work. Mystery Terrain is gone from the field. Excuse me. So that does make it easier to deal with some statuses, but in reality, I don't want to status Hatterene anyways. I am going to go ahead and fire off this Nightshade and Spirit Break combination. Hatterene goes into the battle with the Dazzling Gleam. Grimmsnarl and Corsola take that handedly. Corsola is going to fire off this Nightshade. And Grimmsnarl is going to go in with the Spirit Break. Lowering Hatterene's special attack, but not needed. Hatterene is knocked out. So great battle overall, Daniel. I love that fight. A lot of fairy-type Pokemon for sure, which made it harder for Hydreigon to come in. But we found a way to make it work. But yeah, that was fun. Had a great time, man. It happens. No worries, man. I think I think I'm good for now. But if you want, feel free to... I need to grab a drink of water. If you find a shiny Pokemon that you're a big fan of, yes, you are more than welcome to take a shiny. Basically, anything from this Magikarp down that you can claim. I also have the Psyduck and the Venusaur. Venusaur's G-Max, by the way. Let me grab some water. Go ahead and chime in on the chat what shiny you'd like, and I will go ahead and trade that with you. I'll leave the screen open for you, by the way. I appreciate your patience, folks. You know, in Arizona, you gotta stay hydrated, let me tell you. But having water is great too. My throat, that happens too. When you talk a lot, yeah, your throat gets dry pretty quickly. But yeah, any shiny that you see here, the top ones are actually my personal ones, so I won't be trading them and not the Zeraora. But Magikarp, Morpeko, the Grimmsnarls are G-Max. Any of them are free they're free to a good home. So let me know if there are any that you like. The Meowth can also G-Max as well, which is really helpful. So if you want a moneymaker shiny Meowth, here it is. You can take one too. I'm sorry, I'm not sure exactly what MO is. Do you mean no, as in you don't want any shinies? I don't mind. I mean, you don't have to take a shiny if you don't want one. But yeah, we do have the Grimmsnarl. One of these Toxtricities can Dynamax. But yeah, let me know any of these that you want. The rest aren't shiny, but the Venusaur is, and so is the Psyduck. Actually, let me go ahead and move the Psyduck over. But these are all the shinies that you can take if you'd like one. Also have the Psychic Surge NDD, which is really nice as well. Morpeko? Okay, gotcha. Cool, yeah, Morpeko is yours. Go ahead and give me the trade code that you want to use, and we can trade for that Morpeko. Excuse me. Alright, I got the trade code and I'm entering that now. Cool, while we do this, we'll go ahead and... Oh, that was... Oh, wait, I'm hatching the Darumaka. Uh-oh. Hopefully this won't mess up the trade code. But we'll see. Okay, still searching. Give it one moment. Okay, I think it might have messed up. No biggie. I will re-input your code. Nope, I don't want to do that. Okay, 46. Okay. 4948. Sorry about the egg. I think that might have messed up. Probably saw that action and I was like, hey, I can't find the code anymore. Wow, we got a lot of different raids going on. I think it's Sunday raid day. Wonder if that mural is shiny. It might be. It might be. Alright. Gosh darn it. I'm so sorry. Are we getting disconnected? Okay. Don't worry, Daniel. We will get this trade in. I promise you that. Let me go ahead and try one more time with the code. Same code, right? 46734948. So we're going to try that again, and we'll make sure that we input that in properly. Yep, I want to cancel. Link trade. Okay, so we changed it up. So we're going to try 43983993. Alrighty. We got a lot of raids going on. I might actually change it up and go for a couple raids just to see what, you know, stockpiling some items and things like that. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna stand still so I don't hatch any eggs. I'm looking for you. Come on. Can we help out our good friend Daniel? He wants the Shiny Morpeko. He gets the Shiny Morpeko. We need to give him that Shiny Morpeko. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. This thing can load. It can give you the Shiny Morpeko. Man, what the heck? We're waiting a long time for the Shiny Morpeko. There I am. I'm this greeting. I'm just hanging out here. And it's sad that you're not tall enough to be on shoot, what was his name? It's not the stone, it's Stone Joner. There it is. It's like similar to Stonehenge. Stone Joner. Yeah, it's a bummer that you're not tall enough to be there. Okay, that's what I put. The 49. I put in 43933993. Let me try one more time with that code. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to say 4393. Okay, then I'm going to say 3993. Okay. That's the code that you put in. Okay. I mean, you've seen it. You're watching on the stream. There we go. We got you, Daniel. There we go, finally. And here, enjoy your Morpeko. This is actually one of the first few shinies that I caught in max raids. So I hope you enjoy this Morpeko. One of my absolute favorites. But yeah. Oh, thank you for the Jigglypuff. I appreciate it. Awesome. But yeah, Shiny Morpeko is really cute. I like the cream center. I think that's what they did a really good job with that part. But enjoy this Shiny Morpeko, my friend. A good one for sure. And I hope you do treat it well. Definitely feel free to EV train it and whatever you desire. But it is a fun one. Alrighty. Thank you so much for the trade, Daniel, and do enjoy that Shiny Morpeko. Alright, folks. Kind of looking at this, I do need to get ready for I got work tomorrow, and I need to get some things organized. before you go and continue streaming. Of course, anytime, Daniel, and thank you for the follow. By the way, folks, I just want to, before you log off, just want to say a couple of quick things. First off, huge shout out for our current our followers in the stream. Shout out to Kawaii Boy Girl who followed us earlier. Really appreciate Pokemon Go Slowbro for the battle and the follow. And huge shout out to Daniel for following us as well. Thank you so much, guys, for following and tuning into the stream. I'll try to stream later today. And it was great seeing you guys. Bye. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time here on Gaming with Smiles. Take it easy. Peace.